on, Aquarius? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be a reading for the week of May 15th to the 21st, 2023. So in this reading, Aquarius, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for the upcoming week. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming. We're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides regarding this upcoming week as well, and so much more. But before we begin this reading, as always, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading. And I really do appreciate you in advance for taking the time to check this reading out, Aquarius. Now, if this general reading happens to resonate with you, Aquarius, definitely smash that like button. Subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also really appreciate that over here. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and pull the energy and see what it is that wants to come through for you, Aquarius, for this upcoming week. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Aquarius. Let's see what we got here. All right, Aquarius. So, before we get into the tarot, let's start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards from the universe. Okay, what frequency does Spirit want you to embody? What frequency do you need to embody for your highest good this upcoming week? The first one you have is optimism. All right, so no matter what happens to you this week or what you have going on externally or internally, make sure that you really tap into that kind of glass half full attitude. Look at the bright side of every situation. We're gonna have to see why when we clarify. You also have ascension. Okay, ascension is really about a spiritual awakening happening. So make sure that you view, I would say, make sure that you, especially with these first two cards, view the world through the lens of your Uranus kind of viewpoint. As we know, as most of you know, Aquarius is ruled by two planets, Uranus, but also Saturn. And so for some reason, Spirit's telling me stick with the Uranus kind of futuristic aspect. There is something coming through about, you could really feel like the universe is jumping your timeline this week. Okay, there's a big thing about a big timeline jump for you. And depending on who you are, it may be pleasant or it may not be. But remember, no matter what happens, optimism and ascension, remember whatever happens this week is for, you are learning some sort of like spiritual lesson, or others of you are being realigned by Spirit, okay? Now you also have excitement, okay? So excitement here is really following your driving passionate. And even I'm getting excited about a challenge for you is something that can make you feel alive and tap into that Uranus frequency, okay? So you have optimism, ascension, and excitement. So that's not really the whole, traditional thing. So make sure you get weird whatever happens to you this week, because for some of you this week, there is going to be challenges, but it all depends how you define it. And what I'm getting here, Aquarius, before we get into the tarot with optimism, is that everything in this reality that happens to you is neutral. The gift that the universe has given to us as human beings is that we get to give meaning to this life. Any sort of event is neutral. We can give it a meaning. And there's also a higher order to good and bad. When I look back at my life, Aquarius, I'm saying this because it's going to be very relevant to what you have going on this week. The things that I immediately labeled as horrible, bad, unwanted, actually turned out to be some of the greatest blessings in my life. Okay, so that is kind of tapping into that Saturn energy. But that's what's going on here. Okay, so for some of you, it's not going to be bad at all. For others of you, it's very challenging this week. All right, but no matter who you are, you have to look at it like whatever's going on. I would literally, this is one of those things where you have to say like, thank you. Oh my God, this is called a reality inversion. There's a book, Aquarius, that I would have some of you read. If you haven't read it as an Aquarius, I think you'd love it, by the way. It's the best manifestation book I've ever read. It's called Reality Transurfing. It's written by a Russian quantum physicist named Vadim Zeland. It's called Reality Transurfing. And one of the most powerful aspects in that book is that when something unwanted happens, and you're at that neutral point where you get to give it meaning, even if it's a really bad thing and you react like with a jovial, like almost like an insane enthusiasm, you know what I mean? So like, let's say that I stubbed my toe. Like I'm walking down the street and I really stubbed my toe and I'm like, wow, this is gonna hurt for a few days or a week. I'm like, oh my God, ow. Instead of going negative, be like, yes, thank you. Oh my God, thank you, yes. And you really cook in that energy. You have to get a positive result from it. You have to. You may not know how, but it will come if you stick in that frequency. So whatever's going on this week, Aquarius, I want you to do something called a reality inversion, okay? Invert reality. Now, this is quite dangerous depending on what it is. So I'm giving you this advice as like the cherry on top to your sundae. Remember, tarot is like the cherry on top to your sundae. The sundae is your life, tarot is the cherry on top. So use it as it resonates, please. But let's go ahead and get into the tarot. Your opportunity is the Hanged Man. All right, so the Hanged Man is about, it's really coming through as surrender. Also looking at something from a different perspective. But whatever's going on this week, and that's why I'm channeling the reality inversion. I'm getting chills as I'm saying this. I hope you're paying attention. Whatever happens to you this week, Aquarius, treat it as if you chose it. You may not want it, but you have to treat it as if you chose it. Because within every adversity lies the seed of an equivalent advantage. It's like a rubber band analogy. If you pull the rubber band back into darkness, the more you pull it into the darkness, when you finally let go, that much further it will fly into the light. And that's the idea here for you. But because what I'm picking up on is a lot of you really are going to be down, depressed. Now, I'm not saying don't go into your emotions. I'm not saying don't have a moment of anger, sadness, but I'm just saying don't stay there. And for a lot of you, I mean, Aquarius can be detached emotionally, and I actually do feel you can use that to your advantage this month or this week. I hope you're paying attention. Something's happening. It's okay to detach this week and reality invert. Not forever, but this week. Now, your challenge is the King of Wands. So for some of you, there could be a fire sign that is involved in this challenge. Okay, you could be having a challenge with a fire sign in your life. Others of you, there's going to be some sort of feeling of the passion for life gets drained out of you here. Okay, the reason why the King of Wands is in your challenge, we're going to have to see when we clarify. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to your overall general energy here, Aquarius, okay? When it comes to your overall general energy here, you have the Five of Pentacles, the Tower in reverse, and you also have the Empress card here, okay, Aquarius? And so with this energy here, this is about you being an alchemist. This is about you saying, I'm not going to let external circumstances govern my inner state, because for a lot of you, it's showing up as something. There could be some sort of, the Tower in reverse here, Aquarius, is like an extremely negative shock. Like some sort of news comes your way that you really don't want to even deal with. For a lot of you, this has to do with your abundance, right? You have the Five of Pentacles and you also have the Empress here. So for a lot of you, this has to do with your physical situation. This has to do with money. This could be a sudden shock that someone, tells you, hey, do you know that you owe this money? on a more practical level, but whatever's happening, you have to realize it's happening from a higher level this week, okay? And even if it's not happening from a higher level, and even if this was a genuine mistake that you made as a human and it's not something to do with your destiny, then please, especially those people, apply the reality inversion. Now, what that's all tied up to, we're going to have to see, but it's very interesting. Now, once again, when it comes to what you don't see coming, you have the 10 of Swords, you have the 8 of Cups, and you have the 8 of Swords here. Now you have the number 8 twice, and I think that's why this Empress is showing up, because the number 8 has to do with abundance, and there is something about, once again, you have no idea how whatever's going on that seems to be so negative can really, really change your life for the better, okay? If you define it that way. If you can't define it as positive what's happening, at least remain neutral. I would advise the reality inversion. Even if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter, okay? Because you're detached emotionally, you can do this. Now, whatever's going on here, Aquarius, there seems like there's some sort of ending that you're trying to walk away from, but you don't know where to go. All I can really, I'm getting chills as I'm saying that. All I can really define this as, all I'm getting is there's some sort of ending, and because it's the Tower in reverse, it could be something, because the Tower's in reverse, sometimes you look at that as a reader as a tower that's extremely negative. Now, some readers would read the Tower in reverse as a sudden shock that is positive. And so some of you may be experiencing either one of those things. The first thing I got was extremely negative. But no matter how you cut this, Aquarius, you have the 10 of Swords, the 8 of Cups, and also the 8 of Swords. What I'm picking up on is there's some sort of ending and you don't really know where to go. You still feel trapped, okay? So this could be your job lets you go. I'm not actually getting that for a lot of you. Your job lets you go, or you decide to quit your job, but then you don't know where to go next. Something along those lines, but here's the thing, Aquarius, the number 8 is here twice. I'm getting the number 88, infinite abundance. That's really what you have to remind yourself of. Really, once again, you have optimism, you have ascension, and you have excitement. And so this is something to where you really have an opportunity to tap into your own power of your mind, right? You are an air sign, which means that you are very mental. You have an ability to shape reality with your mind alone. And because you are Uranus, but you're ruled by Uranus and also Saturn, you have the opportunity to take futuristic ideas and bring it into reality. And so I'm sorry to say this, Aquarius, because this part right here is really going to burst a lot of your bubbles. A lot of you have been playing it, a lot of you have been playing it a little too safe in your life, and that's why you're sad, and that's why nothing's working. So for a lot of you, if I can put it bluntly, what's going to happen this week is that something that you were meant to do, what I'm picking up on, something that you had an idea about, okay? Like, oh, I want to go into this healing realm, or I want to be a healer. I don't want to just do this career. I don't want to just do this life purpose that I'm already doing. I need something more expansive, but it's scary because it's not traditional and expansive, and how are we actually going to make that in the physical? You had the idea in the past, but you didn't act on it. Now, for a lot of you, what's going on here is that because you are on a lifeline that is not truly meant for you, you are a target from the universe, and the universe is basically like, we warned you. And you're like, in the like gunpowder, you're like, oh. And that's really some of you, this is not as nasty as it seems. I know we have the 10 of Swords, we have the Tower in reverse, we have the 5 of Pentacles. For a lot of you, this is not going to be as nasty as it seems. For a lot of you, this is going to be a conscious choice. Now, the reason why the Tower is reversed here is because for a lot of you, it's that positive aspect. I'm getting split for different Aquariuses, so you have to tune in to know which one you are. For some of you, this is going to be a conscious choice you make. For others of you, this is going to be something that seemingly happens to you, but it actually is happening to you because you asked for it at a deeper level. So either way, you're good, is what I would say. Now, there's something about going and returning to the past. Now, I know that I'm talking crap about Saturn. I told you, hey, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and also Saturn. I know I was like, hey, let go of the Saturn, but now it's coming through as no. Your advice and your challenge, the King of Wands, may actually be to, there's a challenge for you to be your true self. And now, when it comes to your advice from Spirit, you have the Judgment card, you have the 7 of Swords, and you also have the 10 of Wands here, okay? And the first thing that I'm getting from this is something, the Judgment card, it can have to do with the past. Okay, so much like the Six of Cups has to do with nostalgia, roots, hometown. But what it's coming through as very strongly, Aquarius, is some sort of judgment that you made about the past. You were saying, okay, this isn't working in my life anymore. I need to let go of this person. I need to let go of this career, whatever it is. You made the judgment, but then you didn't do anything with it. You didn't act on it, right? The reason why the King of Wands is in your challenge is because you had the inspiration in the past, but you basically decided to back out. Now, whether this is, once again, a choice you make this week, or for some of you it's happening to you, the advice is you're gonna feel like, because many of you don't like to be told what to do, many of you don't like to be forced into a situation. This advice here is basically something should have already ended. You held on to it, you were scheming yourself, and now you have to go back into the past. But the other thing that's coming through here, Aquarius, is some of you are gonna feel like pressured, or some of you are going to feel like there's almost like a situation where someone tried to help you and you denied it, and now you have to like go back to them, and like the visual, it's going to manifest differently, but the visual that Spirit's telling me to tell you is like there was a person here, they offered you like help, or they offered you like a new job, or they offered you a new perspective or something. You were like, yeah, that's good, but you know what? I'm pretty smarter than you, and I'll figure it out myself. So I'm detached. Bye. Yeah, we'll see if I may accept your offer months down the road. And they're like, okay. And now, because something bad happened, or for others of you, it's just this choice that you make. You show up at their doorstep, like literally, the advice that I'm getting is you're knocking on someone's door, and you're like, hey, I know I denied your help, or I know I denied your idea, or I know I denied this, but can I still have it? And the universe is like, of course you can still have it. What do you mean? Of course you can still have it. And you're like, oh, so you mean... So there's just this thing going on that's very complicated, but also very simple, and that's what the universe is. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start clarifying some of these cards and see what's going on. Let's clarify why the Hanged Man is here. And for some of you, this could be tied up to a person. For some of you that are in a marriage, and I'm not really picking up on that, but because of the spread, I have to say it. Some of you that are in a marriage, or if some of you are dating a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or someone who's very eccentric, there really could be some sort of thing about you get a red flag and you decide to walk away. Or there's an ending here because of someone's being a little sketch bomb. Okay, and for a lot of you, if this is a relational thing and this has nothing to do with your career or an idea, and this is to do with a King of Wands type figure that you're in love with, or that you're dealing with in love, and I'm getting this very strongly, like some of you ignored a red flag in the past. Okay, you made the judgment, you ignored it, and now it's blowing up in your face. And even if it's a career, it's still the same energy, right? You ignored a red flag, or we all know what we should do. But if you ignore your own instincts, then these things can happen. But you have to reality invert this. And if this is a relational thing, and someone cheated on you, or someone did something scum, then you still have to do the reality inversion and be like, oh my God, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. Is it painful that my partner was dishonest and they cheated on me, and I knew that they was going on and I figured it out? Yes. Is it painful? Yes. But still, at that junction point, don't look at, I'm telling you, Aquarius, if you look at this and you're like, oh, this always happens to me, or, it's, small me. No, just be like, wow, thank you, universe. Thank you for freeing me from something that I deserve better. I deserve better. And no matter what this is, there is an element of I deserve better. Why? There's 2 8s that equals abundance. And then you also have the Empress here, right above the 2 8s. Okay? So let's figure out why let's figure out why the Hanged Man is here in your, so that no matter who you are, there's something about returning to an idea. There's something about returning to the past. I'm really sorry that I didn't mention this already. For a lot of you, there's some past partner coming back. There's some sort of person that you had a really bad ending with, or there's some sort of thing. There's some sort of, and this is for some of you, so I'm not going to go on the whole tangent. It's not for all of you. For some of you, there's a fire sign, or there's someone who's a little bit eccentric, or there's someone who burned you in the past who's like, hey, Aquarius, and there's also something about you hate this person, but you love them. If you're dealing with the relational thing, the thing that I'm getting is like, you hate this person, but you want to fuck them. And then there's the opportunity for that, and some of you are going to also back out of that. There is this thing, if you're dealing with a relational thing, you're like, I hate this person, but oh my God, are they hot? And that's your free will. That comes down to your free will. Do you want to do dealings with someone who burned you in the past? Because for some of you, there really could be a genuine apology. I'm not picking up on that for a lot of you. I'm sweating. Now, let's go ahead and figure out what the Hanged Man is here. See the... Okay. Why is the Hanged Man here? What? The Hanged Man is clarified by the 8 of Swords, the 3 of Cups, and the Page of Swords. Ouchie! Yeah, well, the Page of Swords, the 3 of Cups, and also the 8 of Swords here is the clarification. So, definitely building on that love thing, a lot of you definitely are going to be looking at a love situation from a different perspective. For some of you, it's going to be, this person's coming back and I'm never giving them another chance. See ya. For others of you, though, you may say like, okay, I'm going to give this person another chance. And depending on if this is a very deep soul contract type of thing, or for some reason you feel called to it, okay? The Page of Swords, getting more information, stalker, 3 of Cups, social engagement, but feeling trapped in it. Some of you may feel trapped with a person who mistreated you, but you know they have something that can help you. Or for some of you, there's something about, there's something, Aquarius, about taking what resonates and leaving what doesn't from a person. And I feel like this is for all of you, no matter what this is about, whether this is love, a friend, a boss at work, blah, blah, blah. There's something in your opportunity about, I hate this person, but maybe 5% of what they advised me about was true. I hate this person, but maybe part of what they said I should accept and not just reject. There is something about that, Aquarius, where if you make an enemy out of your enemy, you're thinking black and white, and that's just not Aquarius. Aquarius is able to hold space for polarity, okay? You see, it's almost like you are in cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is like you can't hold space. There's some, whether this is about your life, whether this is about a person, you're exiting cognitive dissonance, and you're balancing your mind out. I know that this, I'm just gonna basically read from the pictures because I feel like I'm getting too mental here. Let's see what the King of Wands is here in your challenge. For a lot of you, I mean, this definitely is a relational thing, but then it was somehow related to yeah. Well, the King of Wands is clarified by the High Priestess and also the Page of Wands. For some of you, the challenge is you should have listened to your intuition that you were dealing with a very immature person from the beginning. And so now you're just going to decide to let them go while actually listening back and not making a complete enemy out of them and saying, well, that 5% of what they told me was actually true and I should take it on. I'm getting in terms of some sort of advice or some sort of accurate reflection they gave you. But because they burned you, you might say, well, no, I'm not taking any reflection. In that case, I wouldn't advise that. Now, for others of you here with the King of Wands, the Page of Wands, and also the High Priestess here in your challenge, there's some sort of creative or some sort of more genuine, expressive Aquarian Uranus energy, some sort of quest that you're meant to go out and go on, that once again, Aquarius, you already knew, but you kind of compartmentalized it and you said, yeah, well, I can do that, but that's just an option. Let's just stay in this crappy reality, or let's just kind of settle for what we have. And basically your challenge now is you had a lot of energy in the past, and now the universe is like, well, you're going to have to go on this journey now, and maybe you're in more of a compromised situation for some of you. For some of you, you're not. For some of you, you can go out on this quest. All I'm saying is you're going to be going back into the past, taking what resonates from the past and implementing that into your life. What I'm getting from this very strongly, Aquarius, is, once again, whether it was the whole relational thing or whether this was a judgment that you made about the past, blah, blah, blah. I just want to clarify why the Tower is in reverse here in your overall general energy. It's over now. Oh, man. Yeah, well, something's not really going to make you feel good. Tower in reverse is clarified first of all by the what? The 9 of Cups in reverse. So something will happen that doesn't make you feel emotionally good, but you know it's the truth. Oh my God. I mean, come on. You have the centerpiece. The Tower in reverse is clarified by the 9 of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth, a new beginning, and also the Fool, a new beginning. And also, there's something here that happens that makes you feel a little bit foolish, or you ignored the truth. Whether this is, once again, relationally, you ignored the red flag, and now it blows up in your face with someone who, there could be a third party involved for some of you. For others of you, though, with this Ace of Swords, the 9 of Cups in reverse, and the Fool to this, there was some sort of new beginning that you knew you had to do in the past that you ignored. And now basically something this week happens to where it blows up in your face and you're like, well, let's go. Once again, knocking on the person's door, the powder in your face, and you're like, tell me how to begin. And for some of you, you still hate that though. And for those of you doing that, I really can't help you. With that being said, I'm gonna peace out. Have a great week.